a sum of 3 or a sum of 11 on two number cubes, each numbered 1 through 6. For problem 15, children, you would do wise to have that little table of possibilities when you roll the dice.
Can we use that under?
Absolutely, please bring it with you. All that stuff is fair game there. So the question, Jackson, is the sum of 3. How many different ways were there to get a 3? How many different 3s on that list? 2. So that's 2 out of 36. And then how many different ways were there to get an 11?
2.
2. The probability of going a sum or a sum, notice that doesn't say and, it says or. If it said and, you would multiply them together because they both have to happen. If it says or, you actually add them together. Because you could get either one of them. And when you add those together, you get 4/36, which is 1/9. 1 out of 9 times. Am I correct on that?
No.
You have to be careful. Watch for the word and. And means they both have to happen. Okay, you have to get. But this one means what's the probability that you're going to get one or the other, which means you have a much greater probability of getting that than the lower one. So note to self, I would say this is probably going to be the same for tomorrow. Look for the word or, which means to add. Jack.
Can you explain number 13, please?
Absolutely. Jack, did you have to check your notes about this?
No,
You've
I
got
checked them.
both an x asymptote and a y one. The x one comes from what makes the denominator 0. Okay, you have this right here. You can never have the 0 on the bottom of the fraction. So what number would x have to be to get a 0 down there?
5.
5. So that's the x asymptote, which is the, what is that, the vertical one, correct? It goes up and down. The y one is simply the number that comes after the fraction. Number after fraction. Which if you look at this one, Jack, what number is there after the fraction?
There is none.
There isn't one, so that's why y is 0. There is no number at the end there, so it's 0. It didn't say to graph it, it just said to write it. Okay. If you were graphing, it would be, yeah. It doesn't, they just wanted you to give these numbers. Actually, it's 5, y is 0. Was that right in there? Oh, look at this. Important message available. They always say that. Lucas Spaniel.
Can you do number 3?
Nope. Any other questions? Number 3. I really want that a little bigger. Can I get it a little bigger? Ready?
This habit. On me 2x. Or 2
Maybe. Which problem was it?
That's
Number
3.
Number 3.
2.
Huh?
You said it was x, y squared.
I said so it's 2xy. 2 times the square root of xy.
Oh, then I got that.
You have 7 of these and you take 5 away, you're left with just 2. You're left with just 2 of those things. 2 square roots of xy. You think about square roots or radicals just like letters. If this was an x and this was an x, 7x minus 5x would give you 2x, but it's not an x, it's a square root of xy, so you have square root of xy. Now it should be an easy one for the future. Have a Christ.
Number 11.
Suppose, is that not a different piece?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
It's at the bottom.
Here?
That's the last one.
Here. I guess we're just going to play off this here. Wow! Take car salesperson earns commission on a car he must sell a car for, and a salesperson or am I missing half of it? So right here. Alright, Emma Christ says, a seller earns 12.5% commission on each car sold. What price must the car sell for the order of salesperson to earn commission? So, if you draw your fraction table, Emma Christ, I'm talking about some percentages here. What am I splitting my total cost of the car into? Total's 100%. What he earns on commission and what he doesn't have commission on. And his commission is 12.5%, right? So what he doesn't get commission on is 87.5%. What price must he sell in order to earn a commission of at least $2,000? So this is his commission, right? So it goes right here. And then you want to know what would be the total price of the car in order to earn that $2,000 commission. So if you set it up like we've been doing, you simply don't need this. It's 12.5 over 100 equals 2,000 over what number? Now, believe it or not, hopefully you can recognize this. 12.5 over 100 is the same as what fraction? It's 1/8. 0.125 is the same as the fraction 1/8. Okay, so you really could cross this whole thing off and switch it with the fraction 1/8. So in the end, all you're going to end up doing is multiplying 1 times n and 8 times 2,000, which is going to give you 16,000. If you didn't do that, then I guess you'd have to do the whole decimal thing and take 2,000 times 100, which is what, 200,000 divided by 12.5. Does that kind of help? Just like, yeah. There's probably an easier way to do this. But at this point, I don't know what to do. Lucas Payne.
Do you need number 12?
Is that on this page?
Oh.
Why would it be, Lucas? Why would it be?
Why would it or wouldn't?
Why would it be? It's like jumbo. Write a compound inequality that describes the graph below. Right. Nothing is easier than this, children. Okay, really the simplest way to do it is, you know you have a dot here at -3, right? You know you have a dot here at 4. If it's a compound inequality and it's colored in going the same way, it's an and inequality, which means the x goes in the middle. And I've mentioned this before. If it's an and inequality, the inequality signs have to go this way. Okay? And since this one can be equal, it's colored in, you have to put a equal sign there. If you wrote it out in words, then you would start with this and say that x, if you wrote it out not like this is like the conjunction part of it, putting it together, you'd have to say that x is greater than -3 and x is less than or equal to 4. This and this are the same exact thing. But to me, it's almost easier to write this because you got your left point, you got your right point, you got your x in the middle. These always have to be less than signs. And boom. That's what it is. You read this just like you say this. X is greater than -3 and x is less than equal to -4. Now, if they shoot off in opposite directions, then it's an or problem, and there's no way to write it together with an or line. You have to write it out this or that. Lucas?
Can you do number 17?
Is that on this page?
Yes.
Over here? Too close, wasn't it? Caitlin is selling t-shirts at 3 for 23, 16, 3 for 23. What will we charge for 5 t-shirts if she keeps? How many is it? Alright, well here's the deal with this. I suppose this would be a graphing sort of thing. And I think I might have been wrong when I told you that these lines have to go through the origin. I don't believe they do. 3 for $16. So here at, wait, do we do
No, 2 for 16.
2 for 16? So I do 2 here and 16 up? Fine, so let's cut that into what? 4s? I guess, can I do that?
Why wouldn't you just do it by 8s?
Well, he doesn't go to 24 either. So here, let's do 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32. 2 for 16, right? Do I have that right? And again, on a piece of graph paper, this will be a much simpler thing. 3 for 23. So there's 3 for 23 is about right here. If you draw this nice straight line, how much would 5 be? 4, 5. You just have to see where this crosses up here. If my calculation is right, I think mine is right at $37.
6.
But
36.
536.
So if we get close to that.
What if you just know what the rate is? Like
Well-
8, 7, then 6.
Mr. John
Wait, I'm just looking here. How many for $16 too?
$8 for each one, and then it goes down. For 3, it's only $7 for each one. So every time you find another one, they drop $1 off.
See, but I don't know if this is that what
Good.
like
Oh,
That's what I did, and I got 36.
Oh, wait,
I did 8, 7.
But my book said 37.
No,
I got
you
36.
were right, it's
I got
37.
38.
Dang.
No, never mind, it was
If you came close to that, I'd give it to you.
I got 37.
I got
See, Jeremy got 37. What's your hand up for?
I just did 23 minus 16 and got 7 because it's the same rate, and then I just added 14 because it's
23 minus 16.
Yeah, because
Because that's the difference.
that's how much money she's adding
And
on
then
for every
14,
shirt.
well, yeah, then the first one just cost me 9 after
You
additional.
add 14 plus 23 to get 37.
Yeah, but the deal is, well,
That worked last time.
so you're just saying how much he charges for each shirt, in addition to the initial one. It probably, and that would be the same as probably finding the slope of that and getting that same thing there.
So you
Either way, if you get 36 or
minus
37, that's fine.
And then we got, I got 38.
What's that?
I got 38.
What'd you get 38?
Because I did 8, I did 7 and then 8 and then 7.
Sure. Other ones while we're here on this test. There's gotta be more than up. There's gonna be more. Jack?
Did you explain number 8 yet?
I hope I haven't. There's right here.
No.
Notice the first thing when you come up to factoring is you have to look for the greatest common factor if there is one, Jack. Of these 3 terms, do they have anything in common that you can factor out?
Square. That's the part I got wrong.
Okay, you can take an x squared out of all 3 of them.
I only took an X out.
And when you do, you're left with an x squared plus a 7x plus a 12. And then you have to look at your new trinomial and see, can I factor that into 2 binomials? You need to keep your x squared out here. And you know the only way to get x squared is x times x. What times what gives you 12 and add it together gives you 7. Is something wrong? Is my phone ringing?
Yep.
It died. It rings all the time. By the way, you do have a tracking on Monday.
For a Christian.
I hope it snows. It better snow.
No more snow. If it snows again, I am
Going
going to
But
put
other
it
ones.
the world.
Brandon Norman, do you have no other questions on any of this? Did I do number 7 already?
We don't have to.
You didn't have
We didn't have to.
We didn't have to do number 7. We didn't do joint verification. Nobody on number 6?
Nikki has a question on number 6, but she's making me ask
I
it,
got
so
number 6
make
right.
Kyle ask it.
Number 6, in my notes, I would jot this down. The direct variation equation is this: y equals k times x, where the k is the constant like a constant of variation. So your equation, when they ask you for it, will look like this, except you want to know what the letter k is. Just like a linear equation is y equals mx plus b, you need to know what the m and the b are. Well, this time you need to know what the k is. And the way that you figure out what the k is you take the 2 points you know, the x and the y, put them in for x and y here. So y is 10, and it equals k times 2, or 2k, we usually write that. So how do I solve for k? You simply just divide by 2, divide by 2. So you know that k equals 5. So you just take that 5, put it in for the letter k, and that is where your equation comes from. Y equals 2x. It's 5x. I don't know why I put it there. But I can fix it. That is your answer, 5x. Kyle, any other questions about John's answer? Nick Shanks?
I just changed the equation to k equals y over x.
Why?
Because that's also.
Huh?
The same thing. I just
So
solved
you know what
for
for your k equals what? You put 5 equals,
k equals y over x.
but that's not the answer.
Divided by 2 is 5.
This is the answer. If you're gonna change it, you'd have to change this one and tell me, okay, 5 equals y over x.
No, but I was solving for k.
I don't know
So
what you're saying.
10 over 2 equals 5.
So what are you telling me? This is the equation they're looking for.
Yeah, I solved for k in the equation.
You tell me exactly what answer you're gonna give me, and I'll tell you if I mark it right or wrong.
Well,
Tell me the answer that you have.
k equals 5.
No. Because that's not the direct variation equation they're asking you for.
Wait, k is
If they would have asked you for the constant of variation, yes, k equals 5. They want the equation. You just said y equals 5. That's not gonna tell anybody anything.
No, I said k equals 5.
K equals 5. That's just a constant of variation. You have to put it back in this formula and write the formula.
But that's.
That'd be like me giving you this equation and you putting in 4 for that and saying, okay, y equals 4, and telling me this is the equation. No, that's not the equation, that's the answer to whatever one part of it. You have to give the equation. Jackson, get him mix it. Like I wanted you to. This one?
Yeah.
You just have to know, there's only 3 possibilities when you do a scatter plot. Scatter plot means they don't all line up. Okay, either they're gonna do like this and see how these dots ended up. It'll look like there was a trend that they were all shooting up like this, and you could draw a line kind of between them. It's not about how many dots are above or below, it's about how the dots line up. If tomorrow's has this, and the dots line up like this,
That is negative.
okay, there's a trend that shows that they're going downhill, so that is a negative correlation. Or if on tomorrow's they give you a graph and it looks like this and the dots are just all over the place, there's no correlation. So you only have 3 choices. Either it's going to be a positive correlation, it's going to be a negative correlation, or it's just all over the place. You know, if I did a scatter plot of the people that wore blue shirts today or whatever from each class, there's probably not going to be a correlation to that. You know, a negative correlation would be something that, I don't know what could I do negative correlation on? I don't know what it is. Nathaniel?
You do the time.
I did number 10, did I? Did I?
Yeah.
Nathaniel? Rick, did I?
No, I don't know.
No.
You said I did.
No, we didn't.
Again, just simply factoring here. First thing, can you factor the thing or anything out of all 3 terms? No, they don't have any common factors, so you just split it into a binomial. And who knows, maybe tomorrow's binomial won't factor and it'll be fine, but this one does. But you must understand that the only way to get a 3x squared here is to split this into a 3x and an x. And what does that change in the whole ballpark? That changes everything, because whatever number you put over here gets multiplied by this 3 when you're trying to figure out that middle term. Okay, the nice thing is there's only a couple different ways to split up. There's only one way to split up 2. So you know the 2 either has to go here or here. So if I put the 2 here, and I put the 1 here, okay, if I do my outside terms, I get what, 3x times 2 is 6x, and my inside terms is just 1x. Is there any way to get a minus 1 with this? No, so you know that you've got something wrong. So you want to switch places and put the 2 here and the 1 there. Outside terms give you a 3x, inside terms give you a 2x. Can you get a minus 1 from that? Yes. And this one has to be the bigger minus 1, so you have to put minus 1 there and then plus 2 there. That help?
So it's getting more bunches.
What?
Are we gonna do number 7?
You won't do number 7, what?
Well, this is in short.
Getting around the perimeter and the third in the middle.
Middle.
Here's a special one.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody has issues with 4 or 5 or 18.
11 yet?
I believe I did for 11.
That was the initial one.
Oh, yeah, not me.
Solving inequalities. Let me do a number 19, because I'm gonna say some of you got 19 wrong and you just
I never understood no one.
Actually, let's just look at 19 and 20 together. When you look at both 19 and 20, one thing that right away should come to your mind, especially with number 19, actually neither one of them. I thought one of them had a negative x in it. Oh, no wonder your life was easy. You should look, let me look and see it tomorrow. What is this? 16A.
No,
No, it's a 16
We could go.
Let me see if 16B has one. Nope. So both of these cases here, you simply just solve it like you solve an equation. Add 5, you get negative 18. 6x is less than or equal to negative 18 divided by 6 divided by 6. X is less than or equal to negative 3. Little circle there going this way. This one here, you subtract 3, you get a negative 4. X is greater than negative 4. Alright, well if that's it, then that's it.